Alright, I got a new firearm, so we got a new unboxing to do today. And it's an interesting firearm. Most of you probably won't even believe that I got this, but I did. And, you know, the main reason is because I like to do a lot of testing for the channel, not just necessarily what I would use or what I would carry. However, I think I would use and carry this. But as you see here, I got my Smith & Wesson M&P 9 2.0 on me. I have a Firearm holster here. And recently I've just been raving about this pistol, and I have every good reason to. Up until this point, I still have not had a single malfunction in it. It's been an excellent pistol. It fits my hand perfectly. The balance is perfect with this 5-inch barrel. Just an awesome pistol all overall. I really like everything about it. So I thought, well, since I like this so much, how about I get something else? So here's an M&P, another M&P. So did I go compact? What did I do here? Any guesses? Well, here's what I got. This is the M&P 40 M2.0. It's essentially the identical pistol, and I think there are some differences in the slide construction a little bit. Now, I think that you could just about interchange these parts, but there's a little bit difference there. And even when I put it in the holster here, you know, it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe not. Yeah, they feel the same to me. But I've heard that the 40 has a little bit different construction in the slide to make it stronger. I could be wrong. Interesting here, if you swap the mags to go in, that's kind of not a good thing because you don't want to accidentally shoot 9mm in a 40. But it's something I've been wanting for a long time, and I couldn't believe they actually had that. And it's the same thing. I went to my local store a few months ago, and I was looking for a 9mm and a 5-inch barrel. I couldn't believe they actually had this because this is exactly what I wanted. I didn't think I could find anything even similar to this because everywhere online I couldn't find anything. I went to my local store and they had this, and just like the 9mm, it was the only one they had in stock. So I'm like, yep, that's meant for me. So I put the same back strap on it that's on my 9mm, so it feels like the exact same gun. So we have a nice 5-inch 40 Smith & Wesson. I don't know if I can convert it to 357 SIG or not. I think it requires a conversion barrel, but these are kind of interesting because if you look at them, you know, 9mm over here actually has a barrel that fills in the size of the frame hole. So you would almost think they could have done it with this, but you know, I'm not really sure on that. But for me, it's just simpler just to have one of each. And this is just the only color they had other than the Pro version with all the cuts in the top, and I didn't really prefer that. You know, I wanted something that had the same safety and has all the same features that the 9mm version I have has. So this is what I got. So I got some ammunition here. I brought out some 9mm to kind of compare the M&P 9. But we're going to do our first shots. I got some Blazer 40 Smith & Wesson 165 grain full metal jacket. Let's fire from 7 yards, just kind of see what kind of accuracy I can get in slow fire, and then maybe do 25 yards, maybe do some faster shooting. So let's get started with seeing how this new M&P 40 shoots for me. All right, let's do my first shots. Now I have fired 40 before, but it was through larger all metal frame guns. I've never fired a polymer 40. Actually, yes, I have. I fired a Glock 23 before, but one thing I hear is that 40 is so snappy that nobody can really handle it well, so I'll be the judge of that, I guess. So let's do our first rounds. I have my target at 7 yards. I'm going to do really, really slow fire, just to kind of see where this is hitting for me. So here's my first shot. I can't believe how little the recoil is. It is nothing. It feels exactly like the 9mm to me. Can't believe people said it has bad recoil. Wow. So I just put a few rounds in there to see where I'm hitting. Not the best group, but I want to compare the 9mm to the 40 now. So I'm going to do a couple of those little diamonds up there with the 9 and then the 40 and just see how they compare for how I can shoot them. All right, I'll go for the upper diamond with the 9mm now. Let's see how I do with the 9. All right, let me try the 40. All right, double checking frame, says 40, we got 40. All right, lower diamond with the 40. I pulled that one. So the group is definitely a lot larger. I think it's just the ammo. Part of it is a slight amount of compensation, even though I know it doesn't have hardly any recoil. I keep thinking everybody says it has a lot of recoil, so I'm just kind of like not focusing as much as I could. But I think our practical accuracy should be fine. So I'm going to shoot from 25 yards with both the 9 and the 40 and just kind of see how they shoot for me. All right, there's my steel silhouette at 25 yards. Now the question would be, what if in a practical sense I had to pull a gun up, get a sight picture, and double tap it? How would it look between the two? So I don't even know if I can hit the target doing that, but let me try. I'm gonna have to flip the safety off because I carried it on, and then get a sight picture and fire off a couple rounds. So. Do it again. And that's just getting a quite quick point shoot where I'm just kind of seeing my front sight and kind of the vicinity of that target. And it's pretty easy to miss. Let me try the 40 now. All right, 40 caliber. Let's see how this feels. That plate moves a lot more. There's something about the 40, it kind of reminds me of a revolver where you have a certain expectation of timing before you bring that muzzle back down and fire it again. As for the 9mm, you don't have that. It's like, is it back down or is it not? Let's try this again. That wasn't good. So overall, I'm going to say they're pretty even. One thing I'm noticing here about recoil is it's only snappy if the only thing you ever shoot is 9mm. That's kind of what I'm getting here, because compared to other stuff I shoot, I mean, this isn't any different than like Warm 38 Special, honestly. So I'm going to shoot from 75 yards. And that's always fun for me, just to kind of see what kind of movement they'll get, what kind of energy impact they'll get. It really gives a really good idea of overall accuracy, you know, not just in self-defense, but 75 yards. If you could hit that, I mean, you could also take down a deer, you know, and they have Hornady handgun hunter nowadays for both 40 and 9mm. So maybe. So I'm going to set up and shoot from 75 yards. All right, I'm back at my 75-yard mark. I'm going to do 9 rounds of each just because I only have 9 of the 9mm left. So we'll see what I can get here with the M&P. 9mm at 75 yards. Wow, I missed the last two. I was doing real well until that point. So, I'm gonna move on here to the 40. I'm gonna reholster this 9mm. And we'll see if the 40 hits. Looks like it hit a little bit to the left. Up, the 9mm's already won. I missed more with the 40. Wow. I did absolutely awful at the tail end of that with the 40. It could be the ammo, you know, it's 9mm Federal, and this is just arms core. Who knows? There's probably another excuse I can come up with if I think long enough. But so the 9mm overall seems to shoot a little bit better for me. But the one thing about the 40, and I have thought about this for the last 5 years or so, and I have not gotten into getting a 40, but I've wanted to. And the main reason why I wanted to is because if you look at the statistical data of stopping power, and I know a lot of people don't like that word, but stopping power is, you know, basically cartridge effectiveness. How effective is it with one shot? And there's recorded data where it shows some are a little bit more effective than others. And the 40 Smith & Wesson, even out of a 4-inch barrel, is near effective as a 357 Magnum. So I've always thought that the 40 Smith & Wesson was a great cartridge, more so than the 10mm. I don't necessarily like the 10mm. I think the 10mm is too much. It's kind of like the 10mm to me, carrying in most pistols, is kind of like carrying a 357 Magnum in a snub-nose revolver. You're probably a little bit better off with the 38 Special Plus P, and I kind of feel the same way about 40. 40 is a good cartridge, and your shootability is a lot better than a 10mm. So to me, it makes a lot more sense. Now, felt recoil, yeah, that's ridiculous. People think it's snappy. I actually didn't feel snappiness at all. I felt a little bit of push. Felt kind of like it felt like in between a 9mm and a 45, but more like the felt recoil of a 9mm with the muzzle rise of a 45. So I don't get where people are saying it's so snappy, because I'm not seeing that. But that's what you get today. First shots with the M&P 40. Interesting. You compare it to the 9mm. It's essentially the same gun. So that's what you get. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.